Well, that's convenient. Nidra is so fascinating to me. Bang! Why are there 5 million enemy? I love Lovecraftian horror. You love Lovecraftian horror, and Nidra aims to deliver. And developed by a solo developer, Devi Andresian, Nidra takes us out on the cold Antarctic ice. Trapped in a Soviet-era station, we are beset on all sides by a cosmic, terrifying entity. Hi! Oh, that's not very good for your brain, sir. Dude, that's really gonna hurt your head. Oh my god! Normally I'd dismiss this game out of hand. Sure, the concept is fascinating. You're trapped in Antarctica with this eldritch entity who's determined to take over the world and is consuming people. Do you want my phone number or something? But it's also a horrific, buggy mess. Is this a money laundering scheme? With the screenshots on the Steam page showing what the creatures used to look like, movement being slightly buggy and abhorrent. I'm stuck again. Hello? There we go. And strange game mechanics, including eating worms. Eat the worm, 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 eat the worm. I still find myself oddly drawn to the story and just the sheer silliness of this game. It is the epitome of a game developer's first project where just a month of additional work and smoothing could have made it an awesome experience. But somehow this is this guy's third game. Also, be aware, I'm fairly sure this game uses AI voiceover, which in and of itself is a whole discussion I can't get into.
And finally, I understood. She showed me what we have done and will do, how we treat everything around us.
I don't know for sure if it's AI voice acting, but there were no voice actors credited in the credits, so I'm pretty damn sure. And to be honest with you, the dialogue is terrible anyway. Opening up with a very strange cutscene with some of the worst dialogue I've ever heard.
The cold steppes where storms and ice hold sway. A flower of unearthly beauty blossomed one day.
Oh, that rhymes.
Then the flower of celestial grace revealed its face, worthy for human race. In the cold steppes where storms and ice hold sway, a frozen man or a flower finds its stay.
Boo! The intro of the game's honestly really good. Like, oh, you're on a snowmobile. Snowmobile explodes.
God damn.
God damn, indeed. Some dude gets picked up from the heavens by a giant tentacle, and then you get tutorialized fairly well. I'm pretty sure drinking alcohol, even if you mixed it with iodine, would make you freeze to death faster, but suspension of disbelief. Obviously, it still has its issues with the core gameplay. Throughout this game, the movement's going to be pretty crap. You're going to be randomly slowing down while you have some items out. You're not going to be able to move properly, and you're going to be jerking back and forth, and the camera is constantly glitching out. But other than that, honestly, pretty decent tutorialization. We turn on the power, make it to the station, and sit down. And then it turns out that this was actually the end of the game. No, don't leave yet, don't leave yet. I mean, like, we're going to be playing through the rest of the game as a flashback, which is a terrible idea because it means that we know the main character is never in any real danger. Not to worry, now we get to drive the absolutely terrible to control little truck. Yeah. Oh, it's like one of those pimp wagons from back in the day, which is the only time we drive this truck in the whole game. I get another cutscene.
Our destination, polar night, had already descended. There lay a vast crater, unmarked on any map. Yet, it wasn't the colossal chasm that astounded us, but what loomed within it. Stunned and seemingly hypnotized, we made the decision to descend into the depths of the crater. From that moment on, nothing went according to plan.
So your driving was shit. As soon as you take control away from me, your driving is shit. If I was driving, that would have gone perfectly. How dare you? I'm live on Twitch 5 days a week, 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. EST. Love to see you there. Or support what I do on Patreon. They have helped me so much recently. I love you all. Thank you.
After the crash, I found myself in the back of the vehicle, surrounded by flames. Panic set in as I realized I needed to escape before the fire consumed me.
Oh god, I need to escape before the fire consumes me! Oh god, I need to escape before the fire consumes me! For some reason, and I don't know why, this game loves these dolly shots. Shots where the camera is sweeping in and out of objects and landscapes as it flies past. Every single goddamn cutscene in this game is a dolly shot. It's ridiculous. But hey, we need to escape from the fire before it consumes us. Oh god, I need to escape before the fire consumes me. And escape we do, making our way through the raging blizzard to another abandoned station, wherein we shall turn on the power and read some truly amazingly written, compelling notes. Fighting them in the cold, if there are many, is useless. You'll only exhaust yourself. Better run. Eventually, exhaustion overtakes us, and we have a little nappy nap. Unfortunately for us, turning on the power has alerted the Horde.
Stirred from my slumber, disoriented by the repeated thudding against the outer wall. Hello? Is anyone here? In response, I only received a knock on the wall. Then I decided to go outside and see who was there.
Hi! Oh, that's not very good for your brain, sir. Dude, that's really gonna hurt your head. Oh my god!
On the back side of the generator building, I
Boink!
found a staircase
Boink!
leading to the roof.
Boink! Oh yeah, combat sucks. We flee for our miserable lives, being chased by, I'm not kidding, probably about 25 of these goddamn enemies. At first I went completely the wrong direction and got ripped to shreds by them, and there was nothing I could do. But hey, respawn later, heading in the right direction. I'm not sure I understand the physics of that, but okay. We headed into a nearby station to try and find a firearm, where we are kindly informed by this wonderful note that we're not allowed firearms, except for a flare gun. One of the core mechanics of this game, by the way, are code puzzles, which you can see we are trying to solve in the background here. It basically involves finding notes and environmental clues in order to solve them. They're just time wasters. I'm not going to cover them from now on. Flare gun acquired, we head on outside, where we are informed that it's pointless to fight the Frostwalkers outside. However, we have also been informed that it's pointless firing the flare gun inside. So what the hell am I meant to do with it? If I fire it outside, these guys can tank 1,000,000 hits. If I fire it inside, the house catches fire and I die! Yeah, the flare gun is incredibly ineffectual. It is good for getting you out of sticky situations, but honestly, your best bet is just to try and run past them, popping painkillers as fast as you can so that you can tank their hits, because they are faster than you and they'll just keep hitting you as you run away. It's the only way to win. After fleeing for our miserable existence, we finally come across the first major eldritch entity. Not a corrupted human, no. This is something significantly bigger. Dear God! Oh, Jesus. Hit, 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 hit it, hit it, hit it more. I am now dead. There is no reason why I would have survived that. It's a long fall. This is an experience.
After Spora released me, I found myself on the other side of the station.
Oh, I love that he knows what the name of the creature is. I wonder if we're going to find a note that calls a Sporal.
Suddenly, I heard the sound of the weather station siren. 3 signals meant one thing. A deadly cold storm was already close.
Fear of the cold storm drives us to shelter. It's pretty much the same as previously. We head inside, turn on the heating, and try and outlast the storm by having a nice little nappy nap. This time, however, due to the nearness of Nedra, we have a spooky dream. My God! Why? Why? Oh man. Oh, that sure was a stressful dream, and that scare at the end got me good. I sure hope when I try and leave the building, I don't... We restock our supplies and start heading towards a nearby meteorological station. Once there, we find ourselves a flamethrower, which will let us burn our way past some obstacles and sometimes burn enemies to death. It seems somewhat inconsistent. Oh my God! Ah! Like everything else in this game, to be fair. And we sprint our way out of the station. This is kind of where the game starts to pick up a little bit, though. From now on, we're going to be beset on all sides at all times by enemies. The only real way for us to survive is to try and shoot them and run past while they're distracted, being a little bit on fire. Also, try not to fall off the wrong side of a ledge by mistake. And, oh, sequence skip. I don't know what happened here. I got completely confused going along the pipe. I was like, oh, do I go to the right or the left? Well, the right has a little banister, so I'll go to the left. And then I fell through the map, and now I'm in a completely different place. I don't know if we sequence skipped and ended up at a whole new area, or if I missed part of the game, or what. It's strange, but hey. We are here now, brinding our way up the various crates and stairs, trying desperately to get away from all the hostiles who are chasing us. Fortunately, at this point, we'd unlocked the ability to eat worms. By eating a worm, which crawls out of an enemy corpse when you kill them, quite a nice way to encourage you to engage a little bit with the combat, even if it's not the best. Your body temperature drops, making you invisible to these enemies. There is one problem with this. These enemies detect heat. That's how they track people down. And we're in Antarctica. This is sub-zero temperatures, right? So how does dropping my body temperature to 30 degrees Celsius render me invisible when the entire land around me is -5 to -50? I expect people to swallow many things around me. I would never want them to swallow this. Ugh. Gross.
Climbed onto the roof. And there, for the first time, I saw living people.
Hi, living people.
Greeted me. You are our new chosen one, they said. Began to preach nonsense that after encountering the spore, a very small percentage of people remain alive. They're all chosen by Nedra and must sacrifice themselves. What the ancients did. Now our time must continue this cycle. They made it clear to me that I have no way out. Either I will sacrifice myself voluntarily, or they will simply kill me. Fate had other plans for me.
Are you serious? Oh my god. Oh god. Oh dear god. This is brilliant, dude. I love this. I'm sorry. This might be my favorite game I've played this week. Oh man. It's so horribly broken and I love it. Why is my gun doing that? I just noticed while editing this that for a brief moment when you open up your inventory, the temperature says oof. Now that there are cultists introduced into the game, we have to face off against some human enemies. They're straightforward, basic, boring. Genuinely probably one of the worst parts, if not the worst part of the game, barring the bugs. Climbing up an exceptionally tall crane, we get to the top and we get to what would have been one of the coolest sections of the game. I say would have been, because just watch. Oh, damn! Squid Boy did not like that guy.
I needed to pass through without the spore noticing me.
Well, being cold isn't going to help, because I killed that one frostwalker and he would have been below freezing. Ow. Aha! You can't get me if I'm up here, dick! Ha ha ha! I win! I win! No! No! Aw, biscuits. See, now there are panels. What? It got me through the panel! 12 to 15 attempts of trying different things. Staying still when it was passing by, hiding behind panels, lowering my body temperature, running on the top, until eventually I just said, F it. I mean, to be fair, the whole game hasn't been great, but this is like... This is next level. We skipped the cutscene trigger! Yo! Hang on. Hang on. Please tell me this isn't a sequential trigger system. Please tell me he just put a trigger up ahead that I can walk through. I hope this works. Yes! Ha 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 ha! Screw you, Cafe Game Design! I'm the king! And decided to sequence skip it. For once, I'm quite happy your game was broken, Mr. Developer. From here, we go through a nail-biting sequence in a facility. Storage boxes around every corner, hiding hordes of enemies who are just waiting for us to have a normal temperature so they can tear us apart. Thing is, we have so many worms, it doesn't really matter. We just eat the worms, drink the iodine whenever we get too cold, and then eat the worms again and walk our way past. We got pinned once in a very unfortunate situation, but honestly, the worm mechanic, while it is cool, just kind of makes you want to walk past every enemy in the game. And when you run out of worms, you just find a way to bug out the enemies and get some more. One more dolly shot introducing a crazy parkour sequence that we then have to take part in. And by parkour, I mean just walking along thin pipes for some reason. I don't know why this would be the official path. Bearing in mind, later on, there are cultists down here, meaning that other humans have somehow followed us. We emerge bleary-eyed, terrified, into an eldritch city.
Through a large opening in the cave, I saw an immense underground space. Some kind of gigantic city with indescribable architecture that could hardly have been created by human hands.
Inexplicably, and I do mean inexplicably because it hasn't been explained at all in the game, there are weird little moths down here that damage you unless you walk forward holding out your flamethrower. Unfortunately, your flamethrower ammo is exceptionally limited, so eventually you just have to run through them hoping you find enough painkillers to chug. We did. It was all right. Just not really sure what their whole business is about. This whole section is kind of just a time waster. The space is so expansive, so needlessly massive. It feels like it was only put in here in order to make the game go above 2 hours in length, which is such a strange feeling after every other area. Sure, there were repeats of stations and whatnot, but it always had its own unique objective and unique progression. This might be the longest section in the entire game where you're just walking with no real progress. It's down there 15 minutes of just plodding forward, eating worms to avoid enemies and just looking at rocks around you. Even the massive vista in the distance is gone by the time you get to this section. It's a little bit disappointing. Thankfully, once you get through this section, things pick back up again. Oh, that's unfortunate. Wait, how did he get on the... Okay. Chapter 6 opening up with us getting clobbered about the head by a group of people who then stake us down, get ready to turn us into a sacrificial bit of lamb, only for us to do the most badass, goofy thing I've ever seen. Oh my god! Why were you tying my hands down? If you were gonna hit me in the head with a crowbar! Bro wasn't even holding on to the... It's so stupid. Our goal now is finally simple. We have to go find the captain's cabin and figure out what the hell has been going on here. Is there a weapon that can help save us? The captain's cabin is a fair distance away, so we're going to have to hop on a snow speeder. But before we can do that, we first have to repower up this little facility so the doors will open. And then this happens. Whee! Uh-oh. Oh no, spooky. Oh, it's so spooky.
Even
Guys,
though it's
careful.
disgusting, but I need to eat the worms so that the frost walkers don't feel me.
I have no worm. Wait, they one-hit kill you now? What? Okay. It's another one of those inexplicable moments that are inexplicable. The character explicitly says I should eat a worm so I can't be spotted by these things so I can sneak past. I'm assuming what was meant to happen here is if you had a worm in your inventory, you eat it, but the guy grabs you anyway and scares you and then throws you because you're cold, so he just gets you out of his way. Unfortunately, I didn't have a worm, and I had no way to kill these guys safely without them absolutely clobbering me, so I just tried to sprint past, which triggered the sequence and was hilarious. hilarious. Oh, Gucci though. We run past a few more human boring enemies. Old Spore Boy shows back up and tries to grab us, and we successfully escape in a quite cool little sequence where we actually drive the snowspeeder. He's added in, by he I mean the developer, has added in all these weird little sections with different controlling vehicles and stuff that we never see again, and I don't know why, but it is kind of cool. And then we're back at the intro.
Shit!
If you make me play through the entire beginning section again, I'm gonna be pissed, dude.
What's wrong with you?
I would have cut that whole section out. Replaying the intro sequence again, just pointless. As soon as the thing crashes and explodes and we see the guy get grabbed up by the tentacle, there would have been a click in our head and be like, oh, we're back in the intro. Then fade to black and fade back in here, and it would have been fine. It would have been awesome. Instead, you waste 5 minutes redoing the intro. But hey-ho, who cares?
Fuck off.
Walking past a group of people patiently standing in line to try and clobber our face in, we get back on the second snow speeder, head out into the winter storm, burn our way past a few more human enemies, and head into the German captain's cabin, where a woman is covered in a sheet with just her feet sticking out for some reason. That's never explained. And we have to listen to the captain's final recording. And this is the most blatant use of AI voice that I've seen in here.
I am the captain of the Aurora Station, Sergei Svrilov. This is my final recording. I had orders that if we were certain Nedra was a threat to humanity, I should send a signal to the nearest nuclear submarine to bomb the crater with Nidra and all of us, as no one should come out of the crater alive. But I think the bombs won't kill Nedra. I have long known that Nedra is dangerous to humanity, but I wanted to understand her. I wanted to understand what she was trying to convey to me, and finally, I understood. She showed me what we have done and will do, how we treat everything around us, where we should have gone, but what we have come to instead. For a long time, I couldn't find the strength within me to decide what to do next. To send the bombing signal and not let Nedra's nature prevail over human nature, or do nothing and believe that people will change in the future. In the cave at the German station, I found cyanide pills. This is my way out. If you, the listener of my epitaph, wish to join me, then I invite you into the darkness. On the table near the bombing signal button, I left a cyanide pill for you. Everyone has a choice.
And this part just made me laugh. It's such a non-choice. What should I do? Certain death by poison or certain death by nuke that might let humanity survive? Oh, but humanity is so evil, it deserves to be consumed by an eldritch monster. Like, I get being pessimistic about the future of humanity, but there is pessimism, and then there's just straight up being an asshole. Why would I have bothered fighting my way through this entire game just to take some cyanide at the end?
Certain that humanity will grow wiser. In the near future, neither a person's nationality, race, nor even religious beliefs will matter.
What? Where did that come from?
I'm willing to defy nature and sacrifice my life for this.
Where the hell did that come from? I'm about to blow up this monster. I'm sure this will end racism. What? And then what happens to the next guy? The next guy comes in. Oh no, he sees the note. He presses play on the recording, and the captain says, I have left you some cyanide or a button to call a nuke. And there will be no cyanide for the second guy or the third guy. The captain just assumed after the next guy showed up, there would be no one else coming to save the world. Do you see what I mean by how bafflingly fascinating this is? It's like this game was crafted as a bush league of what a story would be, with pieces put in without any consideration on how it would actually work within the greater story. It's so weird. Not even to mention the fact that there were cultists right outside this door the whole time. All they had to do, apparently, was fire off a flare in here, and they wouldn't have even had to worry about nukes. Anyway, not being an absolutely pessimistic, negative Nancy asshole, I, of course, call a nuke. And we get an actually pretty freaking awesome cutscene for it. I'm pretty sure this music is copyright, so here you go, here's my sound effects. Oh, what's that over there? This is longer than I expected. Boom, boom, boom. Oh no! Oh no! What's gonna happen to me? Oh god! There's so much happening. What? Oh god! And that was Nedra. Now, at first, I was blown away by the fact that it seemed like there were so many developers that worked on this game, hence me yelling out loud at the start of the recording, is this a money laundering scheme? But no, it turns out everyone other than David and an artist were all a part of the publishing studio. They didn't have a hand in the actual crafting of this game, which is hilarious because quality assurance!
Quality assurance!
As I said, this game fascinates me. It really is so weird how cool it is, but also how weird it is. It has all the story beats you'd expect in a game like this, but they're put together in such a strange way that it makes the entire experience feel really surreal. Having said that, this isn't an inherently negative review. What you have here is someone who's creating games possibly as a passion. You enjoy the feeling of horror, you enjoy the tension, and while yes, the human enemies were lame and it got a little tedious now and then, overall, it wasn't bad. The main problems come in, and David, I'm talking directly to you in case you ever see this, the main problems come in with your core features. You have built the entire game, the level, the map, the story triggers, all the sequences, they're all built, they're all crafted. Yes, some of them have their issues, but they're there. If you had taken one more month to just go back and revisit the core features, the movement, which is so janky and weird and off-putting sometimes that it just doesn't feel nice to play. The combat, which feels floaty and gross and again doesn't feel nice to engage with. It feels like a waste of time sometimes just spamming left click to see if you can hit the enemies before they hit you, and revisit the human enemies. There should be more than one flare gun on this island. I can overlook the fact that there's like 1,000 human enemies in this game when we're in the middle of Antarctica and most of the humans are meant to be dead. But having them run at you one at a time with a crowbar going is just kind of lame. Also, kill the AI voice. I mean, David, I'm sure you have a voice. If you don't have a voice, you talk about your family, I'm sure they have a voice. If they don't have a voice, I guarantee you there would have been some content creators who would have happily lended their voice to this project. Using AI voice lines, and from the sounds of it, possibly an AI to actually script some of the voice lines, can really bring a player out of the project, and I understand it can be a cost-saving measure, but there are ways to get around that. As it stands, this game has 24 reviews on Steam. Unfortunately, it most likely will just slip into the piles and piles of games that have been pushed back on Steam's backlog. But David, get cracking, dude. Get that wrench, fix those small minor issues with the core mechanics, tweak combat a little tiny bit, remove the constant inference to alcohol when there's no alcohol, and for the love of God, stop making the screen bright red every time you're injured. I mean, come on. I think it would have been good. I think it would have been better. Yeah. And fix the damn audio. If you're sprinting with anything in your hand, the audio goes cutting in and out, and it is horrible, and I have no idea what you've done to cause that to happen. I have never seen that in an Unreal Engine game, ever. Not to mention the damn footstep sounds, dude. Someone in my chat actually pointed out it sounded like Minecraft footsteps.